Hello, everybody, and welcome to Football Psych. This is Coach Mad Mike
and Large Sarge.
Welcome to our very first Football Psych Mock Draft 1.0, Large Sarge. So let me tell you what things are going to happen here. What I'm going to do is I've kind of put together my analysis, and we're going to do our very first mock draft. And Large Sarge is going to give you his fan and pundit analysis. Is that what you're doing?
Fan and analysis. Yeah.
Fan analysis. All right.
The fan analysis is.
Which pretty much means you'll probably be closer to right than I will because I'm using real analysis. So also just for our viewers
these jokers are wrong.
Yeah, I think everybody's wrong. And so, like, when I go in there and I do my mock draft, I try to ignore a lot of people because historically I think they're full of crap and they usually get it wrong anyway. So I go with that with an underlying assumption when I go into it. I kind of look at what everybody does, and then I automatically start scrutinizing what everybody puts in there. And then I try to apply what I would do as real analysis into that. And what I see is people and what they're doing, which there's a lot of deception and smoke screens that get put up. So I try to read through that too. And who knows? I could be completely wrong. But I want to give another perspective. And I think it's going to be healthy and to kind of go through it. And then we'll see, right?
Yep, absolutely.
We'll see.
Yep.
We'll see.
We'll see.
All right. So I'm using a tool. This tool is the NFL Mock Simulator. And I kind of like this mock simulator for a number of reasons. You can see the URL that's on there. Because it allows you to kind of work trades into it. And it kind of lets you know based off of ranking, and it gives you some draft reports. And we're not going to pull up some of those draft reports in this one, but if you look on there where those little clipboards are in there, you can read some of the analysis of strengths and weaknesses. And then you can even click on that a little bit more when you go into it, and it'll give you a little bit like a draft card. So it gives you a little bit more of analysis for you to make your own opinion.
Now, Coach Mad Mike, you just showed this to me tonight before our live cast here, and I'd never seen this before. I think this is a pretty darn cool tool. So for all those other football fans out there that might be watching and they want to go through a mock draft, can you give out that website so other people can go out here?
I thought I gave it to you here. I was trying not to pull up the URL but it's go to football. It's called profootballnetwork.com / simulator, draft simulator. All right, you go to that.
Draft simulator. Got it.
Yeah, profootballnetwork.com, and then you pull up their draft simulator.
Cool.
And it'll take you to this page. And I think it's just a really cool tool. And you'll see it as we go through it, that it kind of works really good for you to play around with some things.
Sarge is learning from Coach every single day.
What's that?
Sarge learned something from Coach every single day.
All right, so let's get into our draft here. So some of these things we'll probably agree on. If you have different comments, I am looking for the fans out there. All right, I'm looking for people who are out there. Share it with your buddies, and I want comments in the description bars because I know a lot of hardcore fans out there have done their own mock drafts. They look at other mock drafts. They got their opinions. They got their favorite teams and what they want there to do. And you might look at mine and think I'm absolutely freaking insane that I've gone mad, but I didn't get the name Coach Mad Mike for nothing. So I want to hear your opinions if you completely and utterly disagree. What do you think, Large Sarge?
100% with you. I'm going to disagree.
All right. So let's go ahead to disagree and keep disagreeing that we're going to disagree. All right. With that, I will say the first pick for the Chicago Bears, and I think this is pretty universal at this point. I don't think we're going to get a whole lot of contention about this one. I think it's almost a deadlock. With them being on the clock, I think they could probably already make the pick today. But unless this dude gets hit by a bus or a meteor, I think they're going with Caleb Williams first overall.
Salu.
You with me, Large Sarge?
I'm with you. I'm with you.
All right. Now, number 2 is where things get pretty darn interesting. Oh, I love the clap.
The fans agree.
Fans agree.
Gone number 1.
Here's where everything gets
This is
real
where we got to
interesting.
turn the hat around and get some serious football action on right here.
Hold on. I got to put my hat around then, too. Hold on.
We're going to have some dissension right here.
All right. Number two. There might be some dissension here because it's really going to boil down to, in my opinion, and I think a lot of other analysts' opinions, it's going to come down to Jaden Daniels, Drake May, or JJ McCarthy. And it's kind of a split decision on a lot of these based off of who you ask. And Penance is getting into the conversation. I think that's way too early for him. There's all kinds of things that they're going on. I would say the majority of these things is smoke screens. I believe that this decision's already been made. I'm going to throw it out there. I called it 2 weeks ago, and I'm not changing my position, Large Sarge. I'm going Jaden Daniels from LSU, the Heisman Trophy winner from last year.
Coach Mad Mike, I think you're going to get butthurt on this one. I think you're going to get butthurt. Let me turn this back around. The fans say that Drake May has a connection with Kingsbury. And so at the end of the day, they're going to look at Kingsbury and say, he's our guy. That's what the fans say. We'll see what happens.
I will be absolutely disappointed. I will probably throw my jersey across the room. I will have a temper tantrum. I will cry because I do it every freaking year from my freaking team. Because the most ridiculous thing that most likely would happen is probably what will happen, which will probably be they'll pick Drake May just to piss me off. Because they piss me off every freaking year.
And you know what'll happen? You know what'll happen to the Commanders? That's all they're going to listen to you about, man.
Yeah, I know. And that's about all I'm going to listen to when they try to justify it, too. Let me hear that sound again because this is going to be their justification, too. Come on, let me hear the sound.
That wasn't the right one, huh?
It wasn't the right sound. But it's hilarious.
They're
going to come with some way to justify it, but if they don't get Jaden Daniels here, I think it's a huge mistake because here's my thing about Cliff Kingsbury. He's used to Kyler Murray.
That's true.
And it's a dual threat kind of situation. I really think the best dual threat quarterback out there is Jaden Daniels, and it makes so much sense that they probably won't do it, like you said. But this needs to be the pick, Large Sarge. It needs to be the freaking pick.
Well,
he was a freaking Heisman Trophy winner. He comes from a great pedigree school like LSU.
Let's just say we'll be there to watch it happen live streaming from the draft. We'll be there to watch it all go down.
You know, the other thing that's kind of crazy is, Drake May comes from North Carolina, and we already got rid of a North Carolina quarterback by the name of Sam Howell.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling it, dude. I'm just not feeling it. But anyway, we're going to move on. I'm going with Jaden Daniels in number 2.
I'm going with Drake May.
All right, which means the New England Patriots are I said that again. New England Patriots. I got to articulate my words. They're going to go with Drake May. And number 3.
The Patriots are going to take whoever the Skins don't. And that's either May, Daniels, or McCart or JJ. So we'll see what happens.
Which one do you think it's going to be? You think they're going to pick Daniels?
Well, I'm going with May for the Skins, so Daniels are going to the Pats. But we'll see. We'll see what's a better fit. Who knows?
I think Daniels
is a quarterback frenzy in the first round, in the first 5 picks. It is nuts. So
yeah, and I think right here, the number 4 position is going to be the whirlwind position.
Yeah,
this is because you're not going to. I think 4 quarterbacks are going 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think JJ McCarthy goes right here. Now, obviously, the Cardinals are not going to get it. So here's what I think is going to happen. I think that the Vikings are going to try to move up here. Now, if the Vikings snooze on this or they can't get an agreement worked out with the Cardinals, don't be surprised if the Broncos try to move up. But I think the Vikings are going to win out on this because they have a lot more draft capital, and I think that they're going to be able to outbid the Broncos to move up. I don't want to underestimate Sean Payton by any stretch of the imagination because he's a dangerous dude. And if he wants it, he's going to find a way to make it happen. But I think the Vikings win here.
You think the Vikings move up to 4 or you think they move to 5?
I think they move up to 4 with the Cardinals because they cannot allow this to go to number 5, because if they don't move on number 4, the Broncos will. And the Broncos will leapfrog them.
Or the Giants.
Again,
or the Giants.
The Giants have a chance to move up 2 spots, but like I think that they might be okay with taking a wide receiver. So
yeah, I got Harrison for the Giants, but I think they need a quarterback. They've got to have one. So
they got Jones. So I mean, like
they're not happy with him.
Yeah, I know, but like I think that they've got so many other needs that they might take a quarterback in this draft, but it doesn't necessarily need to be right here. Unless someone really drops to them, which I don't think it will. I think that's the reason why teams will jump up.
So you think they stay home and go for Harrison as a wide receiver?
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll get there. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and move this trade. And so I'm going to say that the Minnesota Vikings are going to move up and trade with the Arizona Cardinals right here.
I think that's
here's where things get interesting. If you look here on the screen, it shows you the picks on there, which is another reason why I love this app so much, is because you can work the trades right in here. And the Minnesota Vikings have the number 11 and number 23 overall pick in the first round. They got 2 first-round picks to move up to number 4. Now, when I go to I use Walter Football's draft pick value chart. And if you look at the number 4 overall pick by the Arizona Cardinals, it's worth 1,800 points on that particular scale.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The 11th pick is worth 1,250, and the 23rd pick is worth 760. So if you calculate those up, it's a 2010 score compared to 1,800, which you would think that the Arizona Cardinals will pick that. The interesting part that's going to happen here is how greedy does the Minnesota Vikings try to be in this move up? Are they going to want something else out of the Arizona Cardinals to make up the 200-point difference? Or are they going to be compelled? Because I think the Arizona Cardinals are going to hold to their guns and say, nope, I want your first 2 number 1 picks if you want to move up to number 4, and I'm not giving you anything else.
I don't know.
But don't be surprised that the Minnesota Vikings don't want a 3rd-round pick out of them.
Yep.
To try to close the gap.
I think the Vikings are going to move up at any chance they have. They want to move up. They want to nab whoever is number 3 off the board.
Yeah. So I see them giving up their 1st and 2nd round pick, and because we're not going into the 2nd round, I'm not going to argue about 3rd and 4th round picks. But I know some of you might say that they need to give up a little bit more on the Cardinals side to kind of balance this thing out. But for the sake of argument, I think we know that for Minnesota to move up to the positions, they're going to have to give up both their number 1 picks, 11th overall and 23rd overall, to move up to number 4. So we're going to propose that trade, and it's confirmed by the app. Okay, so now Minnesota Vikings are in the number 4 spot, and I think this is where they take J.J. McCarthy. Now, this is all subject to the fact that they don't get greedy, the Cardinals don't play hardball, and there isn't some kind of battle for like the Giants to move up or the Broncos, because you got to watch out for Sean Payton. He might get super aggressive because he's just that kind of dude. But I'm going with, in my mock draft, that the Minnesota Vikings win this out because they have 2 first-round draft picks, and they're able to move up to get J.J. McCarthy to replace Kirk Cousins.
The fan and pundit opinion is that the Vikings trade up with the Chargers to take the number 5 spot and J.J. McCarthy, leaving the Cards all alone at number 4 because they're not going to take a quarterback. They're going to go for a wide receiver. That's the fans' style.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's very, very interesting. I think that's playing with fire, because if they move up to number 5 with the Chargers, that still leaves the Cardinals right over to play a oop-de-doop and an in and around and work a deal with the Broncos to leapfrog. I think if you want to move up,
they could, of course.
Yeah, I think if you want to move up, you cannot dance around. Yeah, I think you better make a bold move and say, I need to get to number 4, and I've got the draft capital to do it. I need to freaking make a run, and I just
the Broncos need a quarterback, no doubt, right? They need a quarterback. So
the Broncos need a quarterback. So
if Sean Payton's playing his game, he's going to be pushing hard.
He is. He really, truly is. And so
it's going to be a good battle to see who gets the 4th pick.
Yeah, because I think that's where the battle is. It's
4 and 5, right?
4 and 5 right in there. I know there's analysts saying 5, but I think that's getting too cute.
There's
I
going to
think
be a lot of hogs swaggling in there.
a lot of hogs swaggling, but I think if you want the guy, if you want JJ McCarthy, you do not friggin' mess around.
Yeah.
You jump to number 4 and you get your guy and you don't let anybody else possibly leapfrog you.
Yep.
Because believe me, there will be some gamemanship going on.
Yep.
So that's the reason why I have it going the way that it is. Who knows? I could be completely freaking wrong. But I think quarterbacks are going to go 1 through 4. And this is the order that I got them in. Okay. So this one here, because of that, and one of the things that I think is, the Chargers are going to be looking for a wide receiver. There's a lot of debate going on right now whether Marvin Harrison or Malik Neighbors is the better wide receiver.
Yep.
I personally think Neighbors is the better wide receiver. However, there's a lot of analysts that grade out Harrison, and I hear that there's scouts that grade out Harrison higher. I don't agree with that. But that makes the Chargers pick Harrison here at number 5.
That's why I got Neighbors with the Cards at 4. So,
yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
but I don't see these quarterbacks.
The first 3 are kind of whatever. We already know what's happening. 4 and 5 are going to be crazy to watch. They're going to be.
They're really going to be crazy
to happen. I think there's so much going on in there with teams deciding what they want to do, and there are so many quarterback needs. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, and so the Giants need receiver help bad. And so this is where I think Neighbors goes. Now, if you're like me and you grade Neighbors out higher and the Chargers take Neighbors, then Harrison's going to go at number 6 to the Giants.
I got Harrison at 6.
Right. So it's going to be one or the other, right? Just because most people grade out Harrison higher, I might be more like you, Sarge. I really grade out Neighbors higher.
Yep.
But I see a lot of people trying to tie Harrison to the Chargers almost as if it's a lock. So, and which means that they could be wrong, but that's kind of where I'm going with it right now. If those two swap at the 5 and 6 position, I think that's okay. But I'm going to go with Harrison number 1 over that to the Chargers, and then I'm going to go Neighbors as the second wide receiver off the board to the Giants at number 6. All right, and that brings us to the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans need tackle help badly.
Hugely.
So it's huge, right? So you're going to take the number 1 dude off the board, which is Joe Alt. He is undisputed the number 1 tackle.
We agree. Pundits, fans agree with Coach Mad Mike.
So then it brings us to the Atlanta Falcons at number 8. And Atlanta Falcons are really needing edge rusher help. It's their number 1 need. It's very, very big. And I know we're going to disagree on this one, Large Sarge, but the number 1 edge rusher, hands down, in my book and all the analysis reports I have, is Dallas Turner. It's not even close. Yeah.
Really?
There are some people who think he's
not on the chart, man. He's not even on the chart. You know who I have? I've got Verse.
Yeah. I think I think even Latu's rated higher than him. But
either Verse or Williams.
Wow.
And if the Falcons don't take Verse, if they take Verse, I think the Bears are going to take Williams at number 9 or vice versa. Because the Bears need something offside of Sweat there. They're going to take an edge rusher. So we'll see. But you're going with Turner, huh?
I'm going with Dallas Turner.
All right.
For the Atlanta Falcons.
He's not even on my list.
Wow, because he's the number 1 edge rusher in this draft class. And if he's not even on your list, okay. So then it brings us to the Chicago Bears, who also have the 9th pick, right? So they had 2 top 10 picks. Lucky those guys, or unlucky, depending on how you look at it. Well, that they suck that bad to be in those positions. But they have the 9th pick. This is a chance for them to really do something. And they took their quarterback. They took their quarterback first, right? They need to get him a weapon, right? And when you look at the quarterback needs, they say edge, but I don't think there's another edge at this area, right? You might think it's Dallas Turner or you said he wasn't even on your list.
Verse or Williams, yep. But you think they need a wide receiver?
I think they need a wide receiver for the Bears, and I'm going with Odunze. Rome Odunze.
All right.
Right there, because they've got to give Caleb Williams a target. Now you got a rookie quarterback with a new rookie wide receiver, and they've got a lot of growth ahead of them that they can do together.
Good call.
Now,
I got Odunze going at 10 to the Jets, but
yeah, I think the Jets.
you might be right
all
here.
the analysis that I've seen on this and all
didn't
of
the Bears pick up a wide receiver in free agency? He's already got a couple targets.
He does. But I really think like you do not pass on a chance to get a Odunze there, unless you really want to go edge. Maybe they go Latu there.
They need something on the side to help Sweat out.
Yeah, but
that's going to be a monster defense this year. By the way, my prediction.
Yeah, I think so. Now the Jets, I have them taking the number 1 tight end off the board.
You got the tight end. Okay.
I got them going with Brock Bowers.
Mm-hmm.
I think with Rodgers coming back off of injury, I think he's going to want a very, very solid tight end to throw to. He's also going to provide for an excellent check down option as well. Like, I think the versatility of Brock Bowers for Aaron Rodgers is going to be so much of a dynamic power. I just don't see the Jets.
Mike, you got a real point there. I got Bowers way lower in the draft. But you got to.
He is the number 1 tight end, and I think Bowers goes right there. I don't think he gets out of the top 10. I would be very shocked if the Jets pass on him, because I think it would be such a powerful offensive move to give Rodgers that target.
Can't argue with that.
So anyway, that brings us to the Arizona Cardinals. Now, for the Arizona Cardinals, as you all remember, I had them trading down with the Minnesota Vikings. That gives them 3 first-round picks, all right, that they're going to have in there. So they're at number 11. They are at number 23. And they are at number 27. This is a huge, powerful position for the Arizona Cardinals to have 3 first-round picks by trading down.
Yep.
So they are in a enormously strong position at this. And if they would have stayed at the position, everybody agreed that they were probably going to take wide receiver, right? But here's the part. They don't have to reach for a wide receiver right here, because the next wide receiver I have on here is further down on the board, and they have more picks in the first round. So I don't think that they have to go for that guy right there. They also have needs at defensive tackle and corner. So I really think that the Arizona Cardinals right here, I'm having them going with Terrion Arnold out of Alabama. And I think that just gives them a solid shutdown kind of corner to help beef up that offense. And they're going to address their wide receiver need. Yeah, their wide receiver need later on in the picks.
Interesting. Very interesting.
So
yeah, this is where we digress from each other quite a bit. Interesting.
Yeah. So where did you have? I mean, you didn't have the Cardinals even here because you had them trading with the Chargers, right?
No, that's a Viking trading. I've got the Cards taking number 4 and taking everything else in round 2. I don't have them trading up to get any other picks, except for 27, and I think they're going to take an edge. Latu.
So
I've only got them taking 2 in the first round, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's because you didn't have them trading down for the 2 first-round picks with the Minnesota Vikings.
Right, exactly.
You had them taking a wide receiver.
There, yep. It's very interesting.
I actually think this is a stronger position for the Arizona Cardinals, and it'll make more sense when you see their next 2 picks.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're at number 12. 4 quarterbacks have come off the board. But Sean Payton's sitting there, and the dude needs a quarterback. So I think this is where it's a little bit of a reach, but I think this is where Bo Nix goes. People can argue it might be Penix here, but I don't think so. I think he goes with Bo Nix out of Oregon.
I can't argue with that. They're going to have to move up. Then they need a QB.
But if they don't move up, if the Minnesota Vikings beat them to the punch to get to 4th overall to get J.J. McCarthy,
that's going to happen.
I think that the Broncos can stay put after 12, hold on to what they have. Sean Payton can be patient, and Bo Nix is going to be here. Now, if something stupid happens, like somebody else reaches up to get Bo Nix, then guess who's still there? Penix is still there.
Right.
But I see the Broncos definitely picking a quarterback here.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
They have to do that.
Us to
right.
The
They could probably stay at 12. They probably could.
Yeah. I think if this board plays
they
out,
might not have to give up anything to get that. And you get Bo or Nix, which are both great prospects. So,
yep. So
I got the Broncos possibly taking a cornerback, Arnold, possibly, or trading up.
Yeah, and so I have Arnold going right before them.
They got to go. They got to trade up for a quarterback or stay put for a quarterback. They're not going to get a cornerback. They need a quarterback.
Yeah, and so I mean that's the reason why I have Bo Nix going here. I don't think Sean Payton has to do anything if he doesn't win out for the number 4 job, which I don't think he will, according to my draft board. Right, I think the Vikings are going to win out. Then I think Sean can stay right where he's at, and he can pick at number 12, and Bo Nix will be there.
Yep. I got the Raiders in Phoenix. They need a QB.
Yeah,
and I think they can stay right there and get him.
Yeah, I think that they do need a QB, but I don't have them taking one here. I
got him down.
I've got going with a tackle here. So I had them going with Fashuna.
Yeah, I got the Fashuna next. Then in the next going to the Saints. Interesting. Yeah. Very interesting.
So, and that makes a lot of sense because the very next one, I have the Saints who also need a tackle going with Fuaga out of Oregon State.
Oh yeah. I got
Fuaga, I think, is a really, really good, solid pick here. Now, these two can flip-flop, right? So, like, the Raiders could pick Fuaga, and Fashuna could go to the Saints.
What about Mitchell? You got Mitchell in there? I got Mitchell going to the Colts at 15.
Yeah.
I got Fashanu going first, and then Mitchell going second. There's quite a few tackles in this draft from the fan side of the house.
So, we haven't gotten to the Colts yet. The Colts are next.
Right.
But, like –
do you like Fashanu better than you like Fuaga?
Say again.
You like Fashanu better than you like Fuaga?
I'm kind of put them in the same tier. So this is where like things that you don't necessarily see come into play, like interviews and things like that, like who just resonates better with coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's hard to analyze, right? Because certain teams will just fall in love with the player,
right?
But if you just look at where their value is and where they should go, these guys are like right in the same tier.
Yep.
So it wouldn't surprise me if it goes Fuaga and then Fashuna. But for my sake of my mock draft, I got Fashuna and then Fuaga. So that brings us to the Colts at 15, right? And their primary need is wide receiver. I don't think they need to go there. I think that the right player on the board based off of positioning here is to go corner.
Interesting.
And so I had them going with Mitchell out of Toledo. I think that gives them what they need. They can pick up a receiver. This receiver class is deep. I know some people might say, hey, this is where you jump and you try to go over a guy like Worthy there or Thomas. I'm not necessarily sure that they need to do that right there.
I had a typo on my draft. I got Mitchell with the Colts at 15.
Okay, so you do have Mitchell with the Colts at 15.
Yeah, I got Mitchell.
You and I agree on number 15, huh?
Yep, we agree.
All right. So then we get to number 16 with the Seahawks. Seahawks have all kinds of interesting needs along the offensive line. You can make an argument for a tackle here, but you can also make an argument for guards and centers. And so what I look for is who's versatile
for a quarterback. What is their quarterback position? What's the buzz?
They got Sam Howell, and they got Geno Smith.
Geno, okay. So they're short up. Yeah. Then you know what? They're definitely going with Fautano.
I don't think it's going to be Fautano. I think they're going to go more inside offensive linemen. And so I'm going down. I mean,
that's what Fautano is. He's in IOL, man. Fautano's an IOL.
Fautano is a tackle.
Yeah, but that's not how they're rating him as IOL.
It's interesting, but I go down to and I go with Jackson Powers Johnson because he's out of Oregon. Mm-hmm. What I like about him is that he is such a versatile player that he could pretty much play any freaking position.
Right.
And when you're looking at an offensive line,
the fans got him going much lower, down with the Fins at 21. We got him in there.
Okay.
So that's a very interesting choice there, Coach Mad Mike.
Yeah, it's different. It's definitely against the grain. But if I was the Seattle Seahawks and I had the multiple line problems, and I think I can kind of cover some of those later in the draft and some of those through free agency post draft, I want a guy that I can plug and play in different positions, and I can kind of play with it a little bit to make sure that I got a solid thing. And you don't really know what you got until you get them into camp.
Right.
And you can move them around a little bit and find out where you like them best.
Yep.
But when you look at who's the quarterback of the offensive line, it's typically the center. So if you're rebuilding your offensive line, that's the reason why I kind of make that thing. I want somebody who can come in and be a leader and that you can shore up for a long time. Why not take a guy like that in the first round?
Makes sense.
So anyway, I could be wrong as you know what, but that's what I'm going with, right? So then we get to the Jacksonville Jaguars. All right. So this is where something, again, gets very, very interesting. All right. They need a corner, but there's not a corner readily available right here where I think that they need to go. And there's a wide receiver on the board that is just rated really, really well that I don't think that Jacksonville is their number 2 positional need. And I just don't feel like that they could pass up. And that's Brian Thomas out of LSU. And so some people will disagree with that. And if they go wide receiver, they're saying, hey, go with Worley, because a lot of people are very, 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 very stuck on like, hey, this guy is like Worthy is just like an incredible talent, but I just don't have him going that high. He ran a 4.2 140 in his pro day, which is lightning fast, right?
Crazy fast.
So I understand why people will say that, but I believe Brian Thomas is more of a complete receiver. And so,
I got him further down.
Yeah, but I just don't see the Jacksonville, my personal opinion, I think with Jacksonville Jaguars needing to get targets for Lawrence, I just don't see how the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be licking their chops if Brian Thomas is there.
I got them taking a defensive lineman, Murphy. That's who I got him taking.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. We'll see.
Give him some more protection, right? Or some more attack power on the defense.
Yeah. I think for them that they need more offensive weapons for Lawrence. They need to be able to, put up some points on the board, but we'll see, right?
Yep.
But anyway, okay, that brings us to the Cincinnati Bengals. All right. And the Cincinnati Bengals at this particular point at position number 18, things get very, very interesting again, because their top need is interior defensive line. But it's a little bit of a reach because you can make an argument for tackle here, offensive tackle for the Bengals. And so I know people are thinking Latham. I know people are thinking Mims. I think that they go for their defensive tackle need because they need a little bit of anchoring help on the defense.
Oh, Coach Mad Mike, let me tell you what the people are thinking, all right? Not the coaches. Not the coaches, the dang coaches. The people are thinking a tight end, Bowers. That's what they're thinking.
Bowers is long gone, dude.
Is he gone already?
So Bowers, I had going to the Jets at number 10.
I know you did, but that's
Bowers
what the fans
not
say.
Going to be there. The fans are absolutely smoking crack if they think Bowers will be down there at number 18.
We'll see if the fans or the coaches rule on this one.
Yeah, their coaches got that one won easily. All right, number 19, that brings us to the Rams. In the Rams, this is where they need an edge rusher pretty bad. And the top one, Latu, is still on the board. Now, you can make an argument for Jared Verse, which I know you already have him off the board at this point because apparently you didn't believe that Dallas existed. But I think this is where Latu comes off the board to the Rams.
Interesting.
He mainly because also what I like there is he's a UCLA guy, and to be right there in the Rams, he doesn't have to move really.
Yeah. Okay.
They've had plenty of time because all they had to do is drive down the street to look at him. Yep. So I think that it just kind of makes sense to me. Of course,
did he get a visit scheduled? Do you know?
I don't know. I didn't check that. But
well, the fans have got the Rams taking a DL named Newton. That's our opinion. Yep.
So I do believe Newton was already off the board.
Yeah, on your board.
To the Bengals at 18.
Right.
right?
Yep.
So,
Switch Bowers and Newton.
so which means they just missed out on him,
Yep.
right? So here we are. We're at the Steelers at number 20. All right. The Steelers need an offensive tackle. All right. They need to give Russell Wilson some freaking protection.
Yes, they do.
Right. Because if you don't, then it's going to be Justin Fields that's going to come in and take over. And then Justin Fields is going to need an offensive tackle.
They're going to take Fauga.
So I got where Fauga is already off the board.
Yeah, you got him higher.
I say Troy Fatuna is going there. But I think we can agree that a tackle's got to come off the board for the Steelers.
Absolutely. Pittsburgh needs one.
They need one, right? All right. Well, that brings us to the Miami Dolphins, who also need offensive line help pretty bad. They need to give Tua some protection. So this is where I have Mims coming off the board. There could be an argument of whether or not Lathan goes here from Alabama. I think a lot of people might like Lathan, but I think Mims is the choice here. So that's what I'm going with. What do you got there, Large Sarge?
Fans are saying it's going to be Powers Johnson.
Powers Johnson. Yeah, he was gone at 16, buddy.
I know. I
had him going to the Seattle Seahawks.
We'll see.
We will see.
We'll see.
All right. A lot of these guys that you guys have are like, I already have these guys already off.
Yeah, you got them going higher. I'm
going
lower than you are there, Coach Mad Mike.
And you got guys that are dropping that I just don't think will drop.
You might be right there. That's why they call you coach.
Then we got the Philadelphia Eagles at 22. According to your nice healthy chart here, they need a corner as their number one need. And I think this is where they get their corner. I don't see the Eagles not getting a corner here.
Yeah,
and the best corner at this particular point is Nate Wiggins out of Clemson.
You think Wiggins goes here?
I think Wiggins goes here.
I think it's Dijon.
You think it's Dijon?
Yes, I do.
That's very, very interesting because I don't have Dijon going for a little bit later. And I think what they need,
right? You got a round 2, don't you?
Well, no, I do have Dijon going in the first round, but like Dijon is a safety, and I think what the Eagles need is a corner.
You don't you like Rakestraw?
I like Nate Wiggins for the
Wiggins. You're a Wiggins man through and through, huh?
Pure Wiggins man.
All right.
And through. Because I think they need a corner.
It's going to be
so. Here is the next Arizona Cardinals pick. Right. And so if we went back on what Arizona Cardinals did on their last pick when they traded down, the Arizona Cardinals picked up a corner, Terrion Arnold, in my mock draft. Right. So right here, you take the corner need off the board. They still need a wide receiver. They still need a defensive tackle. And when you look at the board of available guys that are kind of like on there, it seems like wide receiver can wait. It's a very deep wide receiver class. And if they're not going to pick their guy at number 4, I think they can wait on wide receiver. And I think this is here where you shore up that defensive line right there, and you go with Brian Murphy II from Texas, the Longhorns.
The fans are saying that you're wrong, Coach Mad Mike.
I have no doubt about it.
It's not going to be the Cards doing that. The Vikes are going to trade with the Chargers, and the Chargers are going to go at 23 with wide receiver Thomas. That's what the fans say.
Yeah, I have Thomas already off the board.
I know you do. I know you do. That's because the fans and the coach disagree on who's going to trade up. That's going to be the fun part.
And so here are the probabilities of what's going to happen, because I love these drafts and I love all the disagreement, right? Here's what's going to happen. Either you're going to be right, I'm going to be right, or we're both going to be wrong, right?
Well, we both could be right in some way or another, right?
Well, yeah. Well, I think that's the only thing that can't happen is we're both right when we disagree, right?
Right.
So anyway,
that's funny.
So we have the Dallas Cowboys at 24. It's very, very interesting here at 24 because, they gave up their center to the Washington Commanders.
They need an offensive tackle.
But they need an offensive tackle. And so the next best offensive tackle I have on the board is Latham out of Alabama, and that dude's a beast. And I just don't see Dallas passing on him.
I can't argue with that, but they're going to go with Mims.
Mims is gone.
I know you got him gone.
The Miami Dolphins up at 21.
They're going to go with Mims.
So then we get to the Green Bay Packers. I think it's way too early to take a linebacker here because there's not a first-round grade linebacker, even though that's their number one need. So then you have to look at corner. And this is where I look at corner, and for some reason, I got Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid going to the pack.
The coach and the fans agree. It's going to be Kool-Aid at quarterback.
Kool-Aid. Let's get some Kool-Aid.
That's who they're taking for sure.
Wow, we agree on number 25?
Yep. We're lockstep.
Lockstep, 25. I think we've been in agreement like the first pick and maybe like I think it was pick 15.
We got three agreements. We got 25. We got three.
You got three? We're in
Yep.
agreement? All right. So then we get to number 26 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are in dire need of an edge rusher. And this is where I know you already have them gone, but I think this is where Verse goes right here. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They got to move from Florida State. He's got to go down south to Tampa, but he stays in the state of Florida.
I have the Bucks going for an offensive tackle named Barton.
Okay. Yeah, you're going to go with, and oh, by the way, Barton's kind of listed as a true guard, but that'll be interesting to see if that happens.
Yep. They're going to move him to tackle and take Barton.
Oh my gosh, with how many tackles are in this league, I just do not see that happen. I think if they want to tackle, they ought to go with a guy named like Guyton or somebody like that. But
maybe I got Guyton later on in the draft, but yeah, so, they go Guyton too. I don't disagree, but we'll see who's around.
Yeah, I think this is where Verse is. I think Verse is still around, even though you got him gone. I think it's one of those another in-state
There's three really good offensive tackles in this that any team could move up to take, depending on how they like a guy.
Right. So we are now on our third Arizona pick at number 27 because they trade back from their fourth position, right? Which is really, really awesome. If you remember, we took a corner early on my draft, Terrion Arnold. Then we took a defensive tackle in Brian Murphy. So we took care of two of the top three needs, defensive tackle and corner, which means they've got to get to a wide receiver here at number 27. This is where I think they take the speedster. They're gonna leapfrog a couple wide receivers in the overall rankings, passing Coleman, passing Mitchell, and getting down to the speedster and going for Xavier Worthy, the 4.21.
I don't know about that
guy to the Arizona Cardinals to give Kyler Murray a freaking super speedy guy to really open up that offense.
I don't know about all that. I think so we disagree on the Cards overall anyway. So I still have the Cards at 27, and I got them taking an edge rusher, lot 2.
All right. Lot 2, huh? All right. You guys heard it here first. Xavier Worthy. Nobody else probably is calling that one. But I'm going to say Worthy is not getting out of the first round. I'm calling it. When you run a 4.2 140 at your pro day and everybody has to pick their jaw off the ground because they're like, holy crap, that dude's fast. And that dude can play.
Speed does sell. I mean,
it sells.
You got it, coach. You got it, coach. Speed sells.
I do not see that dude getting out of the first round. And if he's still there at number 27 after the Arizona Cardinals already picked up a defensive tackle, right? And they already picked up a corner, then they got to go on this one.
If you're spot on what you're doing, then I'm going to have to agree with you on how that would fall. But I just don't think – I think the Vikings are going to muck that all up with the Chargers. So that's where our two predictions get some disagreement. But if yours is true, then I say you're right on that one.
Yeah. So now we get to number 28, the Buffalo Bills. Now the Buffalo Bills, like their number one need is wide receiver, but I just don't see them going for that. And they need a safety. We have not talked safeties at all.
I don't have a single safety in my draft.
The number one safety on the board is Cooper DeJean. And I've got him going. Some people
I've got DeJean as a cornerback instead of a safety, but yeah.
He's a safety. And I say, like, this is where he goes at. This is where he goes right here. This is a perfect opportunity with how dynamic that Cooper DeJean is, that if he's still here, which I think he will be, He'll still be on the board. I have a very, very hard time thinking that they're going to go for a receiver like Coleman or Mitchell here if Cooper DeJean is still there. And I think that this is where they pull that trigger.
Interesting. Well, the fans have spoken, and the fans say the Bills need edge help, and they're gonna go with Robinson.
Chop Robinson, huh?
Yep.
See, I don't see it happening going right there. I see your Detroit Lions going for Chop Robinson as the edge rusher because they want somebody. They definitely want another edge rusher themselves, and I think
the Lions are going with a Robinson, but not Chop Robinson. They're going for the Tigers Robinson as an edge rusher.
Yeah, the Missouri guy.
To
me, he is a second-round
Midwestern boy.
Well, I have him as a second-round grade edge rusher, and so that would be a huge reach, in my opinion, if you go with him at number 29 overall, especially if Chop's there. If Chop's there, I think it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, if Chop's there, but I got Chop going one place ahead of that. But if Chop's still there, they're going to take Chop. I agree.
Yeah. That brings us to number 30. We are now at number 30 to the Baltimore Ravens, who are in dire need of a wide receiver, and they need a guard help. This is a deep wide receiver class. There's a lot of wide receivers out there, and I think you can pick one up in the second and third round to really help them. So I don't think that they necessarily need to pull the trigger here. I think if you got a guy like Graham Barton still on the board, and I know you don't, but I still have him on the board here. I say Barton goes right here to the Baltimore Ravens.
Based on your current draft, I see how you get there, but the fans disagree. The fans say the Ravens taking
what do fans know? Fans don't know nothing.
We're taking Guyton.
So it's interesting you say that because I have Guyton as more of a tackle than an inside line.
I know you do. Well, yeah, offensive tackle, but that's who the
Ravens because the 49ers need a tackle, I got Guyton going right here. Imagine that, the very next pick. So we're close.
You got Guyton at 31?
Guyton at 31 going to the same.
You know who I've got the Niners taking?
What?
A cornerback. Rakestraw.
Oh, my God. Yeah, you guys are wrong.
Yeah. Oh, I cannot wait to be at that draft and marking our sheets off to see how we came out with.
Oh, yeah, because we're going to go back over this video.
Broadcast that to the fans, man, and show them, I got you. No, you got me. Oh, this is going to be great.
Oh, it's going to be freaking so much fun. And I want people to put their comments in there. Like, if you're a fan and you're watching this show, you got to put your comments in because I want to see what the fans say that are in the comment sections. And I want to be able to kind of call you guys out.
Or you're blue. Which one?
Yeah. And you know what, fans? I challenge you to make comments because Absolutely. I will call you out, positive or negative. How much fun will that be? Like, subscribe, put your comments in there, be bold enough, speak up, say who you're going to take, and let me call you out on it. All right?
The pride will never call you out. We'll just give you love.
Have some pride,
We're just going to give you love.
This is going to give the number 32 pick. This is the final pick in the first round of the draft.
Oh, who are the Super Bowl champs going for, buddy?
Super Bowl champs. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes needs some wide receiver help.
Well, okay, we agree.
We agree.
We agree on that.
The question is, what wide receiver?
Mitchell.
You and I agree, brother.
That's 4. 4 out of 32.
I think it's going to be Adonai Mitchell. So that completes the first round of the draft. And I will tell you, that was so much fun. Let me pull that down. And let me pull this up. This is a recap of my picks. So everybody has it on there. You can take a screenshot. See how much I'm right or not right. You can compare it. You can print it off.
I like
you
that.
You can say, let me pick who I would have picked. And then when the draft happens, because Large Sarge and I are going to be in Detroit, I'm going to have this in my hip pocket. And we're going to see how much we're right.
We're going to be scratching notes and calling each other out right in front of you guys. So,
oh my goodness, man. And we are going to be broadcasting too. So we're going to have so much fun for this. Like, you've got to get your buddies involved with this channel. Like, I'm telling you. And if you're looking at this, like, subscribe to it and pay attention and make your comments, man, because this is going to be fun. This is going to be really, really fun.
Very interesting draft this year.
All right. Well, there you go, sports fans. This is Football Psych with Mock Draft 1.0. I might adjust it by next week. We might do another one. We will see. I might cheat off of everything that Large Sarge said and change all my answers. But highly unlikely that'll happen.
The coach never changes.
I don't. I really
Getting him off the dime is not fun.
Yeah.
We'll
I just get angrier.
We're going to get a rid there.
Yeah, Coach Mike got that name for a reason. I just get more mad and defensive.
Yep. Just gets mad.
And then if they don't pick who I pick, I just get more mad at the teams for being idiots. Right? So it's not that I'm wrong, because I'm like never wrong, right? The reason why the Washington Commanders and the Washington Redskins, the Washington football team, blah, 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 the reason why they never got it right is because they never listened to me. Otherwise, they would have been
fans agree. The fans agree.
Yeah. They have never listened to me, and they've always screwed it up. Listen to me. If you're a Washington Commander, listen, if you're Josh Harris, you need to fire everybody you have and hire me. Because I guarantee you I will get you better than a freaking 4-12 team.
Oh, my God, that's funny.
Oh, gosh, man. I just get so sick and tired of my team and making all the bonehead decisions that they made through the years. Now, hopefully, Adam Peters will get it right, and he'll use my card right here as a cheat sheet.
We're giving it to him, right? For free. It's for free.
I'll give it to you for free.
Here's what you should do.
Jaden Daniels at number 2. That's what you should do. Don't screw it up.
Drake May.
Whatever.
Stay with me. Drake May.
All right, guys. Football Psycho.